So my first year of art school, I wasn't sure what to expect. I expected to just have a good time, hopefully be a little challenged, but I'm an avid watcher of this series called Technical Dave on YouTube. I don't know if you've heard of it, so I was pretty prepared.
When I first went into art school, I thought it was going to take my art to the next level. That'd be real swell.
I don't know. I think I was just expecting to be able to make films, and I was sorely disappointed, and there was a lot of just essay writing and all this shit for the studies classes, and I was like, I thought I escaped from this.
This may be a little cliche, but I honestly thought I'd be seeing way more artists drawing outside in the quads.
I expected to walk into a place full of people with the same kind of hopes and dreams as me, and that the teachers were really going to help you get the skills that you needed to succeed in the field you were trying to be in. That, and there'd be, like, girls and parties.
A lot more drawing and a lot less typography.
I expect to become rich and make a lot of money.
I kind of expected to be the best. As arrogant as that sounds, I really thought I was just the best at everything. And now, looking back, I realized I was pretty close to being right. I'm not the best, but I'm near the top. I don't like not being the absolute best, though.
Like, with me, this was my third school that I went to after graduating high school. I failed out of 2 schools. I'm just like, all right, let's see if this sticks.
I mostly just expected I would get to draw and gain tutelage from artists that are much more experienced and skilled than me. Like, that's pretty much it.
I didn't know I was going to an art school until, like, the very end of senior year in high school. I had high expectations once I realized I was going to go, yes.
The teacher would just hover over my shoulder and be like, "That's not good enough. Oh, what are you doing?" And I was never told how to fix it. I didn't get any usable skills.
I can animate things in 3D now. I also learned how to paint digitally and how to incorporate things like composition and lighting and shit.
No, I didn't get any usable skills this year. I don't really need to take all the other baby classes, so I'm skyrocketing past them and going straight to the hardest classes that the school offers. I'm not just taking film classes either. Video game design and TV production are also on my roster for next year. I got the schedule right here.
I learned some color theory, which is something I've been neglecting in my private studies.
I got pretty good with making logos, I think, but little else.
Yeah. I would say most of it's usable. The fundamentals, your first year of art school is important. It kind of builds the foundation, like color theory and the line of action and the Fibonacci sequence, which is a freaking lie.
Oh, of course not. Well, I got very useful skills now from school. So after I went to school for a couple of classes, and then I discovered they only teach you about how to translate communism stuff and propagandas. But then it's so long. It's really just so long. I don't understand. I don't even understand it in Chinese. I just skipped classes, and then I just started translating paired movies. And then I made money. And then I took my family to eat hot pot. And then I recruited more classmates from my school. And I basically built a pyramid scheme from translating paired movies to distribute online. So that was good. That was business. That's my business.
Yeah, I've made such great friends out here. It's just so much fun to hang out and do stuff, even if the tasks are challenging or the classes are.
I'm not excited to go back for a second year. It was a huge waste of money, and I'm glad I quit.
Somewhat. I was hoping for more.
I'm not coming back for second year. Not here, anyway.
I mean, I'm a little nervous, but also I'm really freaking stoked.
I don't think I really need a second year. I don't want to continue, if I'm being honest. I think this is kind of a waste of my time, but I promised myself I would see it out to the end. I promised myself and my parents that I would get a degree. So I have to finish. But I've been working on a side business, and I finally got a really, really big fish there. A lot of my teachers have told me to stop focusing on my freelance, to stop focusing on my side art. But to me, that seems counterintuitive. I've given up sleep. I've given up even better grades than I could have to keep focusing on that aspect of my life, and I'm not going to give it up now. That's why I went into this in the first place. So they can suck it.
I got an art history class where the professor was like on some sort of leave, and we got this temporary professor who was like, look, I honestly don't even give a shit. And then my professor came back like 1 month left of the course, so we're on this chapter, right? And the whole classroom was like, no, we are not there. In fact, we didn't learn any of this. It was modern art, by the way, a class I was happy to skip, but you know, because modern art is a freaking lie. And who cares about a square? You put a square on canvas? Ugh. Get over yourself.
I was trying to render my final animation assignment, and funny thing, the power in the lab just so happened to go out on that day.
I had a teacher who taught my older brother, and she was so excited to be teaching me because she liked my brother so much. And she was super nice to me all the time. And then she failed me for not applying myself in her class. I had to do night school second semester to make up for it. Teacher there had no problems with my work.
Coronavirus. Pretend like the school year.
Yeah.
This teacher, I guess he's really good at lying. Well, he has really long, big eye bags. So his eye bags are covered half of his face, and his eyes very very narrow and slant eyes. We cannot escape his class, which is really unfortunate because he will, whenever he has his class, he'll be like, oh, I'm so hurt. I was like, why? Like, China. So much corruption. I was like, what does it have to do with our class? You guys just don't understand my pain.
I was writing an essay for my studies class, and I wrote that Tony was ragging on this other guy, and my teacher circled that. She was like, what's wrong with you? That term is a derogatory term that people used to say about women when they were on their periods. I guess I'm just stupid, but I had no idea. The whole college atmosphere is just super fucking sensitive. I was just like, you're retarded. And it just jaded me towards the studies classes even more.
Getting too close to your idols. To my idols, not yours. You kind of enter a world of mystery when you enter the artistic, platform. It's a human process like anything else, and when you really break it down, you can take the mystery out of almost anything. The best thing that happened this year is realizing that you can take the mystery out of almost anything and then replicate it.
Changing my mentality to focus more on the artistic side of things than the actual schoolwork.
Night school was the best thing that happened this year. The teacher there was really supportive, and I heard him talking to another student about how anyone who came to that college to do what I wanted to do was wasting their time because they didn't want those kind of students. I know that sounds really bad, but it made me realize that I was wasting my time here, and I need to go somewhere else next year. I did not apply to any more art programs.
I got more people in, so we all just skip school together and be together and translate movie and then use the money to buy food.
One of my life drawing models brought in their dog. He had a little poodle. I actually drew the dog.
The best thing was making my film final. That was probably the aspect of film school that I enjoyed the most. The ability to present your films in front of the class and kind of receive immediate feedback and an ego jerk off.
I met some great friends.
Oh, I had puberty, finally. Age 16.
Pico Day. Oh, but in school, I don't know. Who cares?
I think surprisingly, I did fit in to a certain degree. You know, as much as an introverted artist could fit in with other introverted artists. You know, I kind of sat there and was like, hey, I'm an artist. Cool.
I had no problem fitting in. Everyone plays Smash Brothers. That's awesome too. So we played a lot of Smash Brothers. If you're an animator or whatever, and you want to get into the industry, just play Smash Brothers. Stop practicing art and start practicing Smash.
Yeah, of course, I fit in everywhere. And I mean, there's no place I don't fit in. People like me. Even though I don't go to school, I still fit in. I don't go to classes.
Does anyone fit in at art school? It's just kind of a mishmash of people. I didn't not fit in, I guess.
About as much as I fit in everywhere else, which is sort of kind of, I don't know.
A misfit in a school of misfits? You bet I did.
I mean, my main focus wasn't to fit in. It was mostly the art, but I think I did okay. I made some really cool friends. I don't really care about fitting in too much. Kind of like doing my own thing.
Yeah, I had a pretty good group of friends this year. We would sit and chat and draw, and sometimes we'd go back to somebody's dorm and play some games, and sometimes we'd just sit in the cafeteria. Maybe we would eat an entire pie to pass the time.
I did not fit in. Everyone made cliques. This is the same thing that happened to me when I was younger. I don't like cliques. I don't like listening to other people. I don't like following rules. I thought artists would be unique. The only thing about them that was actually not unique was they all like to be unique. And when every single person is trying to be unique, you realize they're all trying to do it in one of the same ways. So no, I didn't really fit in.
I kind of forced my way to fit in because unlike everyone else at the school, I am actually an extrovert. One of the few animators that actually is an extrovert. So, yes. I think that's a weird way of saying yes.
I would recommend art school if you don't know how to do art. If you already know how to do art, take something like supplementary instead, like accounting or like marketing.
I mean, if you want to learn the art of lying to become a professor, yes.
It's so hard for me to recommend art school. It's not a necessary component by like any means.
I would recommend going to art school. I would. But make sure you know what you're going to that school for. Make sure it's actually going to benefit you, and not just because it's a prestigious name that your high school teachers throw around a lot.
I don't know. So I'd say I'd recommend it if you can afford it. But I mean, I guess no one's looking into school that can't afford it. People are like, oh, I can't afford it. Should I do this? Actually, what am I talking about? Everybody does that. People take out loans.
Yes and no. And I know I know no one likes that answer. If you have the mental fortitude, focus, and goal-drivenness, that's not a word.
I think the better answer is you could miss art school. Yeah, you can miss it and you'd be just fine probably, if you're like really motivated.
I do not even recall what I was taught whatsoever. I would say definitely 100% useless.
I spent a lot of time using gouache. I hated using gouache. Do people even use gouache?
Using very specific tools like coal and gouache.
In general, a lot of college courses are useless. It's just gonna happen no matter where you go.
Modern art, just the whole modern art section. Fuck you and your square painting. You painted a square. No one cares. It's useless painting. Come on, dude. Blend a little.
I definitely have to say sculpting with clay. Kind of felt like I was in grade school and it didn't really do it for me.
Fucking these stupid sociology courses they make you take. Trans studies and deaf studies and gender studies. I don't give a fuck what shit is between your legs when you make something phenomenal. I don't give a fuck what color your skin is when you make an awesome movie. I'm so sick of it. But I have a feeling it's going to be like this everywhere soon. I might be the last class to get an actual education at a liberal arts college. That's what it feels like. So useless.
I had some great teachers. I'm not going to lie. As for my classmates, kids are trying to reinvent themselves from their awkward teenage years in high school, and especially when a lot of artists and social outcasts come together and try to reinvent themselves. Sometimes it works. Sometimes, well, I think you know.
See, I would say like that's like the ultimate selling point for art school is the professors and the classmates are the two coolest parts. Unless everybody hates you, then maybe that's a you problem. Maybe you need art school more than anything.
My teachers were cool, just really hard to get a hold of after class hours. My classmates were really nice and friendly, super talented, like intimidating kind of talent.
One of my teachers graduated 2 years ago from the same college. All she does is plug her own company and tell people that we can work for her someday. That doesn't feel right to me.
It just seemed like the teachers were a little bit bitter. Hey, I suffered, so you gotta suffer too. Why are you so happy? What do you think's gonna happen with art? Experience my bitterness.
This is the athlete in me, but just to be better than everybody else.
I wanted to build on the skills that would get me into the art program that I didn't get into the year before I got into this class. And it was all about building that portfolio for next year.
I was working a job while going to school, so I guess make rent and make cool shit at the same time. I can do the rent part, but like making cool shit I always seem to fail at.
My priorities were to get better at drawing and make some cartoons. I did not accomplish any of those. I'm still not making cartoons.
The fact that I shouldn't necessarily put more drawings into every assignment.
In art school, nobody knows what they have to do. There is a formula, it's just not discovered yet, and it's different for each person, each project. That's the trick. Being around a bunch of people who think that their sheer pretentiousness will produce a work of art is hard to deal with.
Like, even though I've been drawing forever, they're like, today we're sketching cones. So it took getting used to. It's like, yeah, but I know, but I already know animation, so I just want to go wild with it. And the professors were usually just like, no, chill out. And they'd slap me. No, they wouldn't.
I learned what cons were, like conventions. I learned I learned more about anime than I ever wanted to know. I learned what cosplay was, which apparently to me was just Halloween, but not in October.
Man, I hated having to, impose meaning and write a report about symbolism on all of my works, when I'm used to just kind of drawing things straightforward and just, a tree is a tree.
Applying with rough animation, you're just not prepared, and you feel bad about showing it to people. This is still being worked on.
I was gonna say, I don't think I agree with what I'm about to say anymore. But I was gonna say go out and party. But if I partied more, then I might not have produced better work.
My time in any effective capacity.
Just taking every opportunity to skip class and make films.
I heard my school had a gym. I never saw the gym, but I would have liked to use that gym.
It took 2 hours to commute door to door. I missed out on extra life drawing sessions, extra painting classes, one-on-one time with teachers, hanging out with my friends, collaborating with other students. I just should have moved into the dorms.
Oh, not talking to professors more. There were a number of times where I went into office hours and I just came away wow, I'm so glad I did that.
I regret not taking advantage of this amazing network. My first day of college, I made a film. A one-day film. I made a shoot in location, on site. That's never been done before as far as I'm aware. Day one, I got a crew together, I got people together, I got it going. But if you shine really brightly, other people feel dim. And when you make everything about yourself, all you have left is yourself.
Probably not. I mean, it is what it is. You'll get your degree, but you're probably better off just start working somewhere and translating movies like I do. Haha. Okay, I did it.
I certainly hope so.
I'm hopeful, but I don't know.
God, I hope so.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you want to believe.
I hope so. I genuinely hope so. From what I've heard, it does. But from what I've seen...
Yeah, I think so. I've been told so. Hopefully next year they let me just go ham and cheese on my projects, make animation films. As long as I don't have to paint a fucking square on a canvas that is a freaking stupid painting.
I think it'll get better. It has to, right? Anything's better than, spending your entire high school experience building up, going to this prestigious school, and then they don't want anything to do with you. It has to get better.
I don't know if it'll get better. I get conflicting advice from a lot of professors, even the ones I look up to. I had a screenwriting professor actually laugh at me when I said that I wanted to do YouTube. Laugh at me. I'm really afraid that I am wrong and all of them are right. Because I quit engineering college for this. But I don't really care if I'm right. This makes me happy. I have achieved success outside of this college. Not big, but I've gotten paid work. And I don't know too many people who can say that. And so I'm not going to let a couple professors who are stuck in the old Hollywood ways laugh me out of the classroom. Even though I'm not sure, I believe in me. And I know that I think that one day maybe I can make this into something a lot bigger than myself.
If it's going to be better, it's because I'm going to make it better. I'm going to be the guy that pushes myself. I'm going to be the guy that talks to the professors, the drawing teachers, all that stuff, and really pick their brain. Because I want to be as good as they are, if not better. And I got a long way to go. And this was just my first year. But I'm going to be the reason that it's going to be better than year one.
Hello, David. Fuck you.
I played your games, Dave. I answered your questions.
And animating using a character rig.
I'm like, I don't want to do. I just want to make movies, dog.
Borders and tissue paper and logos. Everything was just so uniform.
I just didn't fit in with the crowd of my chosen major.
Art school doesn't really do anything for you. It's kind of like a magic bean.
The goals are, sometimes they smell weird.
Let me know if this was just too long or if the audio sucked.
They're alright. Nothing to write home about.
It was just a good time all around. So yeah.
How's the wife? How's Hannah? Oh wait, you can't. This is a one-way thing. Never mind.